Alright, back on andrology, forumandrology.org. Time for the next post. The next post, I just kind of go down the list and see what's there. The next one um, is from a user called Mevthor, Mevsthor, Mevsthor, and he says, or she, I think it's a boy though, after reading it. He says, I suffer from anxiety disorder and have trouble with sex sometimes. There will be times where I'm I think he means disgusted, but he's written disgust as in discussion, as in we discuss something. I am disgusted by it and completely don't want anything to do with it. I have a hard time communicating this to my girlfriend. I can tell she doesn't fully understand. Excuse me. I was just wondering if anyone could offer me any advice. I'd appreciate anything. Not so much on how I could communicate with my girlfriend, but more of supplements and other things I could try. Thanks so much. Okay. Wait. Okay, before I even get into what I think, let's see what other people said. The Viper says, if you was diagnosed with a disorder, then you should speak with a doctor about certain steps you can take to controlling it. We're not experts and can't advise you on what to take as it pertains to your health. Speak to your doctor and get the proper. This guy, the Viper, he's the guy. Damn straight. If you think you've got some sort of anxiety disorder and you're having problems, go to the doctor, bruv. Like, if it's got to the point where you need to come on the internet and post, well, you know what? I can understand why he's posting, because it can be a bit daunting and a bit. You don't really want to go to the doctor and say, yeah, well, you know what, doc, like, I'm having some sex problems right now. You know what I mean? Like, it just ain't happening. And I think it's something to do with anxiety. Not that it could, not that it won't be, or it might not be, but I can understand that. I can understand how people don't really want to do that. I personally don't go to the doctor. The last time I went to the doctor, he said to me, "Oh wow, it's you. I haven't seen you for about," looking in his little book or whatever on the computer. "Haven't seen you in 4 years. How you doing?" Blah, blah. I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool. Like, I just wanted to check a few things." And I was having some chest pains, um, which is all blessed now. Just do more exercise. Everything, yeah, I swear, pretty much everything. The answer is do more exercise. This guy, do more exercise. Um, I can understand how you don't really want to go to the doctor, because when you got to book an appointment, they never got no appointments, or they have appointments and they're at ridiculous times. Like if you work, you can't get there because the appointments are like either at the time when you start work, 9 o'clock, because that the reason that appointment's always there, 9 o'clock, is because everyone's at work. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that appointment. Nobody can make it. And then the last appointment, something stupid like 5:30. So you got to leave work early to get there, and that means you got to ask your boss to if you can leave work early to go and do that. You ain't got a doctor's note because you ain't been to the doctor yet. But you got to say, oh, you know what, I need this time off. And you know what, a lot of us don't want to ask our bosses. Like I personally don't have a boss, but not I have had bosses, and I didn't want to ask them, oh, can I have time off because I want to. That's long, man. That's telling them too much of my business, and I've got to ask too many questions. You know, that's so long. That's so long. Anyway, I can understand why my man don't want to go doctors, but the Viper's right. You should go to the doctor. Anyway, I think this guy's funny, yeah, and I kind of wonder whether he really does have an anxiety disorder that's giving him problem with sex. I think I get a little bit of a feeling that he's trying to style it out. I think secretly he wants Viagra. That's just me. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but I think secretly he wants the V, because he says, yeah, I'm disgusted by it and I completely don't want anything to do with it. So that means he's saying he's not interested in it, doesn't want anything to do with it, and he has a hard time communicating it to his girlfriend. So instead of him Try to work out why he's not interested in it, why he don't want it, or even just accepting I ain't on it. Nothing wrong with that. That's fine, bro. Nothing wrong with that. Some people do, some people don't. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time, I just ain't on it, bro. I've got other things to do, other things to see, work to get on with. Do you know what I mean? It's not that I never want it, but I can understand. Sometimes you're just like, no, allow it. Let me just jam. Anyway, he goes straight to, I'd appreciate anything in terms of help, but not so much on how I could communicate with my girlfriend, but more of supplements and things that I can try. This guy don't want help communicating. He don't want help with anxiety, because he's saying anxiety is the problem. He wants supplements, i.e. Viagra, i.e. herbal enhancers or something like that. I think he's trying to skate around, you know what I mean? I think really he's having a problem getting it up, and he wants to know where he can get where he can get the V so that he can use the D. I think that's what it is. Anyway, let's see what the next person said. The next person is Bradaga, Bra even, can't even read, Bradrga. Whether you do or do not, bold, capitals, italics, understand any circumstances, treat your anxiety by way, okay, whatever you do, do not, under any circumstances, treat your anxiety by way of a Western medicine protocol. Stay far away from antidepressants and the like. If your anxiety is sex/masturbation related, you need to communicate with your girlfriend the fact that you need a break from all sexual activity and make sure she understands why that is. If your anxiety isn't sex/masturbation related, you need to get to the root of your issue by finding out what triggers it, at what times, around what people, in brackets, etc., and go through a process of elimination of sorts. Lessen your daily stress, eat well, drink plenty of pure water, and see the sun. Normal things that we should be doing, you know what I mean? All of these little things, drinking water, resting well, exercise, like a lot of those things will actually cure up a lot of your ailments, problems, not just like sexually, but physically, even mentally. Do you know what I mean? He's right, man. Once you do all the aforementioned, you should be fine. If your anxiety persists, consider herbal teas and other natural aids. If it still remains, consult a natural doctor. I'll read one more. That one's quite a long one. Okay, it's a long one, but I'm going to read it anyway. This is by Green Man. He says, hey man, I suffer it too. I think he means anxiety. It has taken me a while to come to the conclusion. I spent most of these months trying to make sure my erection was okay. Now I'm utterly convinced that it is. I understand the reason behind my ED and PE was the effect the nervousness was having on my arousal. Even if I'm highly aroused, it seems like the anxiety is blended with it like a double helix. It's hard to separate. That's understandable, because like if you're stressed out and you're thinking about other things and you're worried about performing and stuff like that, it's just like anything that comes with a level of stress, of like performance stress, like sports, you know what I mean? Athletes who are worried and stressing out can perform badly. If you go to an interview, you know what I mean, when you're stressed about getting the right answers, saying all the right things, you can flop and mess up. Same thing with sex. I think these are the things I'm trying. NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. That's like the science of changing your thoughts and your mindsets and stuff like that to get over things. I think I ain't studied that. And meditation he's doing. Check out Brandon on YouTube and download his audio books. Blah blah blah. I went to a hypnotherapist. I can't say it worked like a magical cure, but I did feel more positive and less concerned about it after, but the nervousness is still there. Try not to avoid sex. I did, and it doesn't make a difference. NLP teaches that language is a magical spell. There's nothing real about it, and inner thought patterns aren't fixed in concrete. They can be changed. Believe that, want that. Believe that, want that. If you're having trouble getting it up, soft entry is possible. I use it and I get hard quite quickly once my feels her juices around it. Here's another trick we found. We call it the sleeping game. Okay. She pretends to be asleep, usually on her belly, legs positioned just right, and I have my fantasy with her. She's not looking, so it takes the performance pressure off a bit. Get her, and then enter either soft or hard, wherever you're at when you're ready. Wow. At first she was angry and disappointed, but has been really patient recently, and I can make her so she's still pleased. I imagine I'll get over it sooner or later, but it requires work and lots of sex, so sex becomes like anything you've done many times again, and you lose the fear of it. Cool. This combo of herbs is okay, so he's going on to herbs now. This guy's going in. Excuse the pun. This combo of herbs is the best I've found for having a hard, not necessarily for getting one, but once you have it stays hard. Nettle root, half teaspoon, mucuna, mucuna, pruriens. What's with the American accent? Pruriens. It's like that. Pruriens. That's the only way to say it. Pruriens. 2/3 of a teaspoon. Muara Puama, half a teaspoon twice a day. Buy the herbs powdered from a good source on eBay. Not a real shop. Buy them from a good source on eBay. How is it possible to know they're a good source? Unless it's like a Holland and Barrett outlet or something. And mix with water or juice. I just made up those dosages as an experiment, and it seems to work. Okay. Muara Puama potency wood is the kicker. It is the most obvious acting herb I've tried alongside Tomcat Ali. Okay, sounds like Tomcat Ali, which I use in the gym. That's got Grant as well. Good luck. All right, I'm not gonna stop reading those. I'll let you guys go through them. That thread, I'll put a link to the thread in the description, so you guys can go and have a read. But as you can see, it's quite funny. I mean, what do you think about this guy with his anxiety? Is he? Do you reckon he's really anxious, or do you reckon he was really fishing for someone to give him a comment like that about the herbs? I personally think that's what he wanted. I think he wanted those herbs, but you know, that's just me. Anyway, yeah, leave your comments and responses below. Some of the stuff on here is quite funny, man. I think you can probably see why it's quite fun to read and post on them. But that's it for this one. Hopefully see you in the next one. If you like it, like, comment, and if you really like it, subscribe. Bless.